Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a great start to your week. I thought that we would get into some Melody Baby meditations and check it out and see what she is telling us as far as how to start our week. Okay, so hopefully these will be good meditations today. It is currently June 17th. Let's get into this and see. I haven't looked at these since the last video that I made. Oh, here I went back to May. Let's see what the language of letting go the last couple days has been talking about. Today's is surrender. That's a good one. The 16th is feeling good. What was the last one? Competition between martyrs. Letting go of timing. Hanging on to old relationships. Spontaneity and fun. What was the last one that I read in here? I don't even remember. Oh, tomorrow's is being vulnerable. Okay, and then let's read from Journey to the Heart and see which ones these are. June 17th. I don't even remember. When was the last Peterisms video that I made? Let me look it up and see. Because then I will know what the last, because I know the last one that I did was a, what do you call it? A meditations video. So hold on a second. The last one I filmed was 2 days ago, so that should have been the 15th or the 14th. What was the last one that I read? This might have been something you wanted to start before you got on the video, Peter. Okay. The last one that I read would have been the 14th. Did I read from July? I feel like I might have read from the wrong month or something. Am I in July? No. Okay. June 14th. Let's look at the Journey to the Heart. Trust recharge your battery. Trust the process of growth. Learn the power of respect. Which ones did I read last? Okay, so it's the 17th. Learn to report instead of judge. That's today. Seek freedom, equality, and love was yesterday. Let's read from the language of letting go. Okay, so yesterday's was feeling good. Let's read this one. Having boundaries doesn't complicate life. Boundaries simplify life beyond codependency. There is a positive aspect to boundary setting. We learn to listen to ourselves and identify what hurts us and what we don't like. But we also learn to identify what feels good. When we are willing to take some risks and begin actively doing so, we will enhance the quality of our life. What do we like? What feels good? What brings us pleasure? Whose company do we enjoy? What helps us to feel good in the morning? What's a real treat in our life? What are the small daily activities that make us feel nurtured and cared for? What appeals to our emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical self? What actually feels good to us? We have deprived ourselves too long. There is no need to do that anymore. No need. If it feels good and the consequences are self-loving and not self-defeating, do it. Today I will do for myself those little things that make life more pleasurable. I will not deny myself healthy treats. You know, this is such an interesting meditation because this is something that I actually struggle with, right? And that is that, like, I'll be sitting there late at night, like, watching a show or whatever, and I'll think, God, like, a cup of coffee really sounds good. And I'll be like, but I'm drinking this water, or I should drink this water, or whatever. Or I'll think, like, oh, a Diet Dr. Pepper really sounds good, you know, but, like, oh, no, I shouldn't drink another diet soda today. I should just drink water or whatever. And recently, I've been, like, you know, like, not going overboard because I'm trying to be healthy and things like that. But if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. Like, if it's not hurting anybody and it's not hurting me, then I'm going to do it, right? Last night, I got up, Alex was watching shows, he's watching Shameless, and we were going to binge watch some shows last night that we had to catch up on and stuff like that. But he got up from a nap, and then I was laying down to take a nap, and then when I got up, he was, like, getting ready to go to bed. And so I was like, okay, I said, he was, like, laying in bed, and I was like, are you going to sleep right now? And he was like, no, but I don't want to watch any more TV. He was like, I just want to look at these TikToks and stuff. And I said, okay. I said, I think I'm going to go take a walk. And he goes, this late? And I said, yeah. I said, like, I'm just going to walk around the neighborhood. And I said, I want to listen to this audiobook. So I've been listening, you know, audiobooks while I've been walking. And so I walked for like over an hour last night. And I just really, really enjoyed it. You know, like 6 months ago, I would have been like, no, it's too late. Just stay inside. And I thought, no, I'm going to go do it. If it makes me happy, I'm going to go do it, you know. And I used to have this neighbor back in the day. It was before my new neighbor that she lives there now is like the old neighbor that lived there. And she would, like, at 2 o'clock in the morning, she would have like her earphones on and she'd be listening to music gardening at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, mind you, at the time, I would like take the dogs outside and stuff like that, and I thought she was a little crazy. I was like, who is gardening at 2 o'clock? She's like, la 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 la, singing gardening and stuff like that. In retrospect, I love that, right? Like, I live for that. That she was just like, I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to garden if I want to garden at 2 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, and I look back on that and I think that's more of like who I want to be. It's funny who we find as like role models. Like I love people, like when we talk about setting boundaries, like this was talking about, we often think that setting boundaries is a negative thing, you know? That saying no to somebody is a negative thing. Have you ever like gone along with stuff just because you didn't want to, like, you know, upset the apple cart, or you didn't want to upset somebody? So like, you know, if somebody said, oh, I'm going to go do this, you go do it because you know, whatever. And I've shared this story on here many, many times, or on my vlog as well, that I did that. Like everything that I was asked to do, I would go do and whatever for years. And then my social anxiety kind of kicked in really hard, and I stopped going to do a lot of stuff. But through all of that, I would always ask my friend Tanya to go do stuff, you know? And sometimes Tanya, she would always be honest with me. She would like text me back and she'd say, hey, we're just, you know, her husband Eric and I, she'd be like, we're watching a movie, not tonight. You know, I'd be like, hey, do you want to, you know, go get coffee? Do you want to go do this? And she'd say like, oh, I'm really tired tonight. I'm just going to, you know, go hang in and go to bed early. And at first, my feelings got hurt, right? Because I was like, I keep on asking her to do stuff, like, and she doesn't seem to do it, want to do anything. But she was always honest with me. She'd say, we're watching a movie, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. Or no, she would say, straight out, would never lie about it. She'd say, I made plans with this other person, blah, 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 you know, maybe we can do something this weekend or whatever. But then we would do something, or we'd do something 3 days in a row or whatever. And what I realized was that when she was there because she wanted to be there, not because she was at home watching a movie with her husband and she was like, hey, do you care if I go get a fountain pop with Peter, because she wanted to make me happy, or you know, she canceled plans with somebody else to make me happy, or tried to rearrange everything, whatever. She just was always honest with me. So that when she was there, we were laughing and joking and having the time of our lives, right? And what I realized was she was there because she wanted to be there in that moment. She was there because she enjoyed my company. Doesn't mean that she doesn't enjoy sleeping on her couch, or she doesn't enjoy watching movies with her husband, and that she would pick that over me some night, right? It's not like a pick or choose kind of thing. And so when she was there because she really wanted to. And that was such a valuable, and I talked to her about it, and she's like, that's exactly who I am. She's like, I'm not going to do anything today that in that moment I don't want to do. And she's like, and sometimes when you ask me to go to get a fountain oh my Lord. Sometimes when you ask me to go get a fountain Coke, she goes, the honest answer is, I just don't want to get off the couch. I'm too tired, right? I get that. I totally get that. And so, because I'm that person today, right? And so I get that. And she's like, but I love doing things with you. So when we hang out, like, I'm really happy to do it. Today, I don't go to things out of responsibility or duty. You know, every once in a while, my husband will ask me, he'll be like, can you go to this baby shower with me or something like that, right? And I'll go, but like, I won't stay 4 hours out of obligation. I'll go and I'll go until I'm having fun, and, you know, just show up to be a good friend, just shoot up and show up. But I don't do anything today for long periods of time out of obligation or responsibility. I also don't say no to as much stuff as I used to. In fact, it was funny because Tanya the other day, she said, I'm really proud of you. You're like showing up to a lot of stuff. You're going to this Stevie Nicks concert. You're going out to dinner with your friends. You're going out to dinner for Alex's birthday. She's like, you're going and doing a lot more stuff. But like on Saturday is a good example, okay? So we went out to dinner because my husband's birthday is this week, and so it was a bunch of couples that were going out to dinner, half couples, half singles. And so he said, do you want to go? And I said, yeah, I would love to go. It'd be fun. And so when we were talking the night before, because it was downtown, I said, are you guys going to go out afterwards to some bars? And he said, yeah, we probably will. We'll probably start at some loungy bars, and they ended up at this club downtown. And he said, but you don't have to go if you don't want to go. He goes, you don't even have to go to dinner. I go, no, I want to go to dinner. But I said, I think I'll probably just skip out on drinks afterwards, not because I have an issue going to a bar, because I don't. Okay, I just was like, dinner's fun, and then I'll go home and I'll do something else, right? And so I was like, do you care if I don't? He's like, no, not at all. And so we got done with dinner. Dinner was like 2.5 hours long. I got an Uber home, said goodbye to everybody, and then they walked over to the next bar, and then a couple more people left, and whatever, you know? And that night I came home, I walked after dinner, felt great that I walked after dinner, because I was like, okay, then the stuff that I ate, you know, I don't have to feel bad about that. And then I sat down and I watched To Kill a Mockingbird, and I watched a documentary, Hey Boo, about Harper Lee. And then Alex came home when I was in the middle of watching To Kill a Mockingbird. We talked a little bit about his night. It was fine, right? I don't have to do everything today to that everybody asks me to. Back in the day when my husband and I first started dating, if he wanted to go out and be out till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I was right there next to him, right? And that was so from my past 2 relationships. That's who I thought that I was supposed to be as a boyfriend. I don't have to stay at a party for 6 hours if I'm not having fun, right? Like, this is the thing I hate, when I'm like at like a friend's house for like a party or an open house, which are things that I did not, an open house meaning a graduation party, okay? I know that today, like I said that in a vlog and people didn't know what that word meant. But anyway, you know, I'm thinking of like specifically like 2 friends of ours that had like their kids graduate in the last year. And I can remember being there and like somebody said to me, God, I just don't want to be the first one to leave, but like nobody's leaving. We've been here forever. And I turned to them and I looked, I said, if you don't want to be here anymore, just leave. Nobody's going to care. That's the thing, right? Like that's like a really like self-centered attitude, isn't it? That I don't want to be the first person to leave. Like none of us wants to be the first person to leave, but like then you think like the world revolves around you and the whole party's going to end because you leave or you're going to be disappointing somebody, right? Just leave. Just go up to the person and say, hey, you know what? I had a great time. It was so good being here. And I do that today, right? I don't hurt nobody's feelings. Sometimes I stay 6 hours. Sometimes I stay a half an hour. I don't hurt nobody's feelings. That's setting boundaries for me in my life, right? I had a great time going to dinner and having fun with everybody, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun seeing people that some of Alex's friends that I hadn't seen since this wedding that we went to a couple months ago or 2 months ago. You know, and it was a really, really good time. But no, I don't want to go stand in a bar for the next 4 hours. He likes that. I don't enjoy that, right? And so, and I think that's where you can like set limits and boundaries and stuff. Even with like my cousin on Cousin Fun Day, she comes and picks me up once a week and we go and run errands. I've realized that I like doing it for like 2 hours and being out of the house, but I really love being at home. Something that I like fought against a couple years ago. I was like, I just want to get away, whatever. Now I love being at home. I'm gone for like 2 hours and I kind of start getting antsy. I'm like, I'm ready to be back home. I like being at home, you know? I'm a homebody and I'm not ashamed to say that. That doesn't mean that I can't show up for people and stuff, right? The other thing is that when I can't go to something or if I don't want to go to something, I will straight up tell people. I will be like, listen, okay, I am not in a great mood today. I don't think you want me to be around and I really don't want to come. I have never, or I'll say, you know, I'm not feeling great today or I'm really tired or, you know, like let's make it up next week or whatever. I never lie about not going to do something, you know. I never do that today. I might joke about it in a video or something like that, but I don't do that. To my friends, and I have a very small circle, to my friends, if they ask me to do something and I don't feel like doing it, just like Tanya taught me, because I learn from the people around me, I'm completely honest with them. You know, because I'm not going to sit there and have them wonder why, you know. I wouldn't want somebody to let me wonder why. And if their feelings get hurt about that, that's, to be honest with you, that's their stuff, not mine. If I say to somebody, if somebody asks me to go to dinner and I go, listen, I would love to see you for dinner, but I am so tired tonight. I am not going to be exhausted, okay, and go do something that I'm not in the mood for just to not hurt somebody's feelings. If somebody's feelings get hurt because I say, I am too tired, I do not feel like going tonight, and I'm sorry, but I just don't think that I would be very much fun at dinner, and they get their feelings hurt over that, in all honesty, and this is being real honest and real direct right now, but that's their stuff, not mine. Just like it was my stuff with Tanya years ago, when she'd say, I'm sitting at home watching a movie with Eric, no, I don't want to go get a fountain pop, right? And I'd be like, well, I've asked her 3 nights in a row. Then she'd go the 4th night, and we'd have a blast, right? You know, she taught me that. And so don't ever let somebody guess why you don't want to hang out with them or do something, right? But also don't ever feel bad about saying no. I also learned from this woman that I used to work with, and she was talking about this in a work situation, but to save your no's. And what that means is don't say no to everything, right? Like I got in that for a while. My social anxiety and fear of being around people really affected that to where I wouldn't go to anything. I said no to everything. Everything I said no to. And then I slowly started going to stuff, right? And then what I realized was I can go to stuff and I don't have to stay out super late, you know? Or I can leave when I want to. You know what I mean? So it's all fine and well. And, you know, and sometimes my husband stays out and sometimes he doesn't, you know? And so, and sometimes I've stayed out. Like, we've gone to parties before where he's gone home and I've stayed out later, you know? And at the party and things like that. We did that, like, it was like last fall sometime we went to this party and he was like, I'm really tired, I want to go home. He's like, are you ready to go home? And I go, no. And our neighbor, Melissa, and our friends Melissa and Jason were like, I'll take Peter home, don't worry about it, right? And I had a blast. And so I think it's all about doing what makes you happy without hurting other people. And I think the way to not hurt other people and set boundaries and being true to yourself is by being honest with people, right? Like, what hurts my feelings is when I reach out to somebody, because let's just be honest, all right? As kids or adults, it's hard to reach out to somebody and be like, hey, do you want to have dinner? Do you want to do something? My mom was very lonely because she would not reach out to people and do that, right? And she always felt like she was a burden to people. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be lonely because I'm afraid to ask people to do stuff. But I'm also not going to get my feelings hurt if I ask 2 or 3 people and none of them want to do something tonight. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I just want to get out of the house. You know, well, then I can get out of the house. You know, I can do what I need to do to get out of the house, right? But I don't have to be dependent on other people. But what I don't like is when I text somebody or I call somebody, and I don't really have people like this in my life today, and they're real vague about it. But in the past, they would do this. And I'd be like, do you want to do something? And they'd be like, I don't know yet. I don't really know how I feel. And then I'd find out that they were doing something else with somebody else. They just didn't want to tell me, and they didn't really know how to include me in that, right? When I would have much rather them said, hey, I have plans with Judy Smith. I don't need to be involved in every plan that you have with Judy Smith. You can have a friendship with Judy Smith outside of being friends with me. We don't always have to, the three of us, do stuff together. That's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm a grown adult, right? I can handle that. But, you know, it's that kind of stuff that I just wish through the years people would have been honest with me. And so having learned that through Tanya, and when she's with me, I know she wants to be there. She's there because she wants to be there, right? And I want people to know that when I'm there, if I'm at your party, if I'm at your birthday, if I'm at a dinner with you or whatever, or if I'm just driving around in a car with you and we're getting a fountain pop, or if I'm doing anything with you, I'm there because I want to be there with you, right? And I don't want anybody to ever question otherwise. So I'm 100% honest with people, and and that's setting boundaries for myself. And I don't have a problem doing that today at all. And I'm just like, I'm very sweet in my language, you know, like, hey, we have other plans. We can't tonight, but can we reschedule for next week? Or, you know what, like, I've had a long day. I'm just like, I'm not really in the mood to do something tonight, but I would love to do something the next chance we have. I'm not, like, I don't just say, no, I don't want to see you. Like, I wouldn't say that, right? And I'm just, you know, and everybody that's in my life today are people that I want to see. So it's not like I'm trying to get out of something that I don't want to do. I don't have people in my life today that I don't want to hang out with and be around. You know what I mean? I don't have obligatory, is that the word I'm looking for, or, you know, conditional friendships and relationships in my life today. I just don't. Life is too short and I don't have time for it. The people that are in my life today are in my life because they mean something to me, and I hopefully mean something to them, and I think I do. I don't have conditional relationships in my life today. I just don't. I don't have relationships where I feel like it's an obligation. I'm not going to have that in my life. I'm just not, you know? And in the past, I've worked really hard at trying to keep some friendships alive that in retrospect, I look back and I think, you know what, like, I should have probably not worked so hard on that friendship and just let it go, because once I did, there was room for other friendships down the road and other relationships that were probably better suited for me, and I was holding on to some memory or something from our past that just didn't exist anymore, you know what I mean? And so I think for me, it's just being able to set boundaries and limits that are healthy for you. We always think of boundaries and limits as like this like nasty word, right? You know, it's not a nasty word at all. It's self-protection. It doesn't have to be rude. You don't have to set boundaries in rude ways, right? If you're at a family gathering, okay, and you cannot handle, let's say, a family member that has different beliefs than you, okay, you don't have to make a huge scene about it, right? You don't have to go like, oh my God. I used to feel like I had to be that person, right? I can walk into the other room. If that conversation continues to follow me, I can go up to the person that's hosting the dinner and I can say, you know what, I'm not really comfortable here. It's time for me to go. Well, what's not making you feel comfortable? I don't know. I just, you know, the conversation here is just not comfortable for me. Like I said, I won't lie. So I'm gonna head out, okay? And thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Well, I don't want you to leave. No, I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. I need to leave. And I never feel bad about that, right? I'm not going to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I'm just not anymore. I'm not going to laugh at jokes that aren't funny. I'm not going to sit by while people say things that I don't have those people in my life today, and I'm not going to be party to it, you know? So I think that setting boundaries and limits is really for self-protection. We think we have to do it, and it's like, I'm going to set this firm boundary. Sometimes we do, but not always, you know? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.